Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Patrick Mahomes has owned the Raiders for the bulk of his career.
Owned these nuts.
We strolled into Kansas City, got off the bus, waddled into Arrowhead Stadium, and punched the Chiefs offense in the face, 3-piece in a soda, over and over and over and over again. Patrick Mahomes had never lost to a rookie quarterback. The Chiefs have never looked this dysfunctional. The Chiefs have never looked this terrible. Patrick Mahomes, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 27 of 44, sacked 4 times. And in the span of 7 seconds, the Raiders defense scored twice. Going back to last week's game, that was 4 defensive touchdowns in 4 quarters. Going back to the third quarter last week at Allegiant Stadium with the Chargers, one of the most brilliant defensive performances I have ever seen with over 3 decades of watching this Raiders team play, especially against Andy Reid, especially against Patrick Mahomes, especially against the tight end that will remain nameless. Just a brilliant team effort, specifically buoyed by this juiced-up defense. Raiders win 2014, Christmas morning.
This is the hugest cause for optimism moving forward with this team, the way it's constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense right now is better than any side of the ball we've had in the last 20 years.
Yep.
They're better than any defense we've had. They're better than any offense we've had. This defense right now is amazing. They're not just good. They're amazing. They're a team that you need to go in there and be like, okay, how are we going to do this? We're not going to beat ourselves. We're going to make plays. We're going to do things that people don't think we're going to do. We're going to fly around to the ball. And the only big plays, really, that Kansas City had were over the middle or short little, screen passes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I saw on tape. And that's why I said in the show leading up to the game, make them beat you out wide. We had 2 interceptions out wide. When we forced them to throw out wide, they were interceptions. Okay. And we did. We made everything. We
technically had one. The refs robbed us of
on his forearm the whole time, but yeah, everything over the middle was clogged up. We were passing everything off really nice. Mahomes was running around like crazy. It was a great effort and a great game by our defense.
Let's get things started. Philo Barb 3000. Thank you so much for the super chat. AP. Merry Christmas to all Windbags. F the Chiefs. Defense is lights out. Just need our boy Jaden at quarterback. This defense, the way that's playing, and obviously the special teams is lights out, right? So the three phases of the football, special teams you leave alone with Cole and Carlson. Beautiful. Although it was kind of a weird, Cole missed a snap today. Whatever. Still the best punter in football. That's taken care of. Defense is playing insane and getting better. And it's not even like it's like, oh, man, are we going to be able to pay all these guys? It's like we got Jack Jones for another 2 seasons. We got Merrick for another 1 or 2.
Next one. One more.
Hobbs still for cheap. Spillane for another season.
Just signed Epps.
Cheap. We have one expensive guy in Crosby, and it's basically everyone else is still sticking around for cheap. Like this,
we're going to have to re-sign Kuntz, though.
This defense is only going to be getting better. But what we need is a quarterback and an offensive coordinator, which is, it sounds like a tiny thing, just needing 2 things, but those are arguably the 2 hardest things to get in football is a franchise quarterback, an offensive coordinator that's good, that works with them. But with the weapons we have on offense, again, the special teams, the way that's playing, this defense that's getting better and should stay intact for the next at least another season. This defense should stay pretty much intact. We are a quarterback away from being serious contenders. The way this defense is playing.
Yeah, I think in the last game, I also said if Farva can have a Farva like game in this environment,
Mm.
and he can show that this is who he is at the end of the season, then we should maybe not reach or not be cemented into taking a quarterback in the first round. Oh, nectar of the gods.
Mm.
And I think he showed today that we do need to look for another quarterback. He didn't mess up, right? He didn't turn the ball over or anything like that, but there's just a little bit missing to his game right now where he needs
No giveaways by our
no giveaways, but there were some times where the team needed him to really step up and make a play, and 2 out of the last 3 games we scored 3 points, right? And then last week, that team didn't really want to play, but it's a sobering fact that we were missing 2 very important pieces, but it's pieces that you're not going to find if you don't look for them. So you got to go out and get them.
My big thing with Farva has always been, and again, we're pro Farva. I think we've been pro Farva probably before anybody. Want him to be a Raider. You can count on him to stay within a game plan and not drastically screw up. At least the last few games he's shown that. But what I want out of a quarterback, and this is what we got to, and we're past the point where it's just like let's just get to average, right? Like that was always kind of where we were for a while. It's like, all right, building blocks. If someone's average, some teams you move on, but with us in certain positions, it's like let's start there, right? We got to build from there. We're past the point where it's just like, let's just have a guy that can just kind of like hold his own. It's like, no, I want a playmaker. I want a go-getter. I want a Pro Bowler. Like we need to go get and we could miss, right? We're gonna hopefully pick up one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the draft this next draft. We might miss, but we're going for it.
I'll tell you something right now. If we would have started this process from the beginning of the year, I think we would be at least 2 or 3 games more big wins right now than we have right now. We would be around a 10-win team currently. If we would have started this process from the beginning of training camp with AP and the same staff, same players and everything, I think we would have sped the process up quite a bit. Because I mean, honestly, you almost kind of have to expect these ups and downs this early in the career of Aiden O'Connell. And I mean, technically, maybe even someone who shouldn't be an offensive coordinator yet in Coach Bo. It's almost like you know this to be true. Like when you get 2 young fighters that are giving each other advice, you're like, listen, guys, stop talking to each other because neither of you know anything, okay? And just give each other bad advice, and you're agreeing with each other's bad advice. Just stop. Just talk to your coaches. Talk to the guys who've been here for a while. Like, don't give each other advice. The young guys, don't give each other advice, please.
Pep talks only. Just give each other stats, right? No
don't give each other
advice.
Yeah. Don't give each other trading advice, please. Don't do that.
Space Beast, thank you for the super chat. Suck it, RJ.
Suck a good RJ.
You did it. I don't know what you want me to suck. I wasn't rooting for the Raiders to lose, but I'll suck it. If it means we get to beat the Chiefs like this consistently, you tell me where to suck, Space Beast, and I will suck away.
You are a team player.
Going back to Farva and his play today and the quarterback situation moving forward. Aiden O'Connell, 9 of 21, 62 yards. He was sacked twice. QB rating of 12. This was a good defense that the Chiefs have.
I think even more so than that, it's the elements was tough. It was rainy and it was windy. The rain, honestly, if there's not a lot of wind, the rain, ask any quarterback and receiver, it's not a big deal. They can catch the ball when it's wet. When it's windy, you don't know where the ball's going to be. That's a problem.
My big thing with quarterback, and this is what kind of always, this is my biggest issue with Farva in the entire season, is he can give you a performance within a very strict boundary. It's like, all right, here's what we're asking you to do, Farva, and he can pretty much do that. But once you say we need you to do this, he hasn't been able to. He hasn't been able, man. He hasn't been able to like take over a game and have us count on him. He hasn't been able to like do something off script. 2-minute drive. Take this game over, which a quarterback needs to be able to do. our ceiling as an offense is always stopped by Farva, right? So if things are going well, the ceiling can be pretty high, right? We scored 63 points last week, right? Like if you get 5 takeaways and the defense refuses to tackle and Davante's playing lights out and Zeus is running well, like he won't keep you from getting there, but he won't raise the bar.
Yeah.
Farva, at least currently, right? And again, same thing we talked about on the podcast last week. His 2 offensive coordinators have been Josh McDaniels, who destroys the quarterback of every quarterback he coaches as a head coach, and Bo, who's super green. So the future's still, we haven't written off the future of Farva by any means, but we need to get after we think this next guy can be a Pro Bowl quarterback guy.
Yeah, we need to get a guy that has more tools in his toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Farva has shown that he can look good against bad teams. Consistently, especially in the playoffs, you're going to have long fields. You're not going to be able to be gifted, short fields with 5 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't normally happen that way, where you can just. He led 7 touchdown drives, but he only had like 250 yards with 4 touchdowns. It shows that he had a lot of short fields. But sticking to today, yeah, boy, yeah, go Raiders. Raiders, say it out loud. They're fighting right now. He's saying Raiders in cat. It just showed a big spotlight on where we are and what we need to improve moving forward if we're going to take that next step. Because right now, I'll be honest with you, this is a Super Bowl caliber defense. The way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, this is what you need from a Super Bowl caliber team. Is a defense like this, a defense that knows what they're doing, where they're going to be. You have a star player that it's like a burgeoning star player. Like this is something where if he keeps going the way he's going, we need to lock him up for a few years. Right now, the way he's playing, the way that him and Crosby are playing off each other, you got some guys in the back end that are looking like they're gonna emerge and be solid players, if not Pro Bowl players. So, like you said, it's easy to say, but it's not easy to do. It's two very difficult positions to fill.
Again, defensively, Malcolm Kuntz, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, completely took this game over. Jack Jones, once again, another pick 6, who's now our number 1 corner. And we still have him on his rookie deal for another 2 years. And then with the 5th-year option, which is phenomenal, what we got going on there. Maxx Crosby, by his standards, quiet game, but he was getting double, triple teamed and held all game, which opened up Kuntz, opened up everyone else. Spillane 11 tackles, Hobbs 11 tackles. And that's the beauty of what this defense has been able to do and what equally Patrick Graham schematically and AP juice-wise has been able to get the best out of these guys. Spillane, great pickup. We knew Hobbs was good despite his injury-plagued season last year. Diablo and Kuntz developing well. Other than that, it's not like it's individual performances or individuals rising to the occasion. It's more scheme, team,
everyone playing together,
effort. Like, 2 or 3 guys have developed really well this season, which is great, but it's been a team effort, right? I keep using the example. It's not like we went out and got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and now the defense turned around. Just turned around on the back of Graham's schematics and AP's juice.
Make the play that's in front of you. We've talked about this before. Don't try and go do something crazy. Make the play that's in front of you, and that's what we're seeing. It's very similar, honestly, to a lot of what Gus Bradley was doing, with just a little bit more aggressive, right? Keep everything in front of you, run up and tackle. First guy holds him up, the next guy strips the ball, right? It's what we're seeing is very similar to what Gus Bradley's philosophy is, but it's a lot more aggressive on the outsides. They don't give him quite the cushion. Over the middle, they give him a little bit more cushion, but on the outsides, they don't give him quite the cushion that Gus Bradley.
I think it's much smarter schematically. Like in Patrick Graham's system, guys are where they're supposed to be. Like the thing holding this defense back the first half of the season, where guys were there, they're missing tackles. Like guys are just getting beat on fundamentals. although like they were where they were supposed to be. Because Bradley, it was like everything was in front of everybody. Like we didn't give up big plays, but we gave up everything else. Whereas now, like guys are always in position. It's are they not thinking as much and being fundamentally sound, which is what we've seen the last, basically ever since Antonio Pierce took over. It's beautiful.
It shows growth too. They're getting better, so that shows development, and which is what you need. And it's not just all about getting good players. Yeah, you can get good players, and that's great, and you have to pay for them. But you also have to make the players that you already have great.
So the big conversation, and this has basically been the entire comment section right here, is that did this earn Antonio Pierce the job? Right? Did this earn Antonio Pierce the job? We talked about on our show early in the week how Vic Tafur of The Athletic is pretty confident that if the Raiders were able to go into Kansas City as 10.5-point underdogs and beat the Chiefs, he's like, I think he's going to win the job. And we got to stop looking at it in those terms of, does Antonio Pierce win or lose the job? Think of it in terms of when the season's over, who can we get and who's the best option, right? That's my big thing, is look at it more in those terms. With that being said, Antonio Pierce, when he does the interview with Mark Davis this offseason, he's just going to like write down on a napkin the box score of the Chargers game, write down the box score of the Chiefs game, slide that napkin across the desk to Mark Davis's hand, and be like, who else can do that, bro? I'm not saying hand the job to Antonio Pierce right now. We should not think in those terms. But as far as building the resume to get hired for that job, I mean, AP's had a couple hiccups here and there, but with these two performances against two division foes, beating one, curb stomping and kicking the taint in of the other, getting their coach and GM fired, his resume's big, baby. His resume's big.
He just keeps adding to it.
Yep.
And look, the mistake was made before, not keeping Bisaccia. What the reasons were, there were some, it didn't work out. I think some of the things that were concerns for Mark Davis keeping Bisaccia aren't there for keeping Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce isn't, in his 60s, right? A first-time coach. Mm-hmm. He's a relatively young man. I think he's younger than me. I think he's like a year younger than me.
By head coaching standards, he's a baby.
Yeah, he's young. He understands the culture of the young player, right? So it's not just about being a player coach.
It's 45 years old.
Yeah, he's a year younger than me. So it's about understanding how to reach a player. Mm. It's easy to be what the previous coach wasn't, and just letting players do what they want.
Yeah,
that's easy. But knowing how to reach them.
You and I would have been beloved taking over as interim head coach after.
Yeah, right.
We believe in Soto. He's going to take us to the promised land because he's not Josh McDaniels.
But if you come off of a game like Minnesota, where you're coming off a bye and you put up 0 points, it took a lot to come back from that and come back strong from that. And then come back strong again, even though offensively we do have some deficiencies in that. A little bit of the inexperience shows, a lot of it, of our quarterback and our offensive coordinator. So you put all that together and you put all the positives that AP still has on his side that maybe Rich Bisaccia didn't even have, right? Mm-hmm. But he has the stuff that Bisaccia did have. Should he give him the job today or tomorrow? I don't think so. But I don't know that. I mean, aside from falling flat on our face the next 2 weeks, that he wouldn't get the job.
I think the biggest thing going for him is that I think Mark Davis saw the swing and the miss he made 2 seasons ago with Bisaccia, and he doesn't want to make that mistake again. Like Bisaccia has more of the results on his side because he did take the team to the playoffs. And it's still a possibility. We were less than 1% to make the playoffs today. With the win, we were at 6%. So, hey, anything can happen, right? We're just going to keep playing the games ahead of us and see what happens. Playing our best ball. Again, for the millionth time, I keep using the example of the Lions. They ended the season so strong last season and carried over here. Now they're 10-4, right? We got that going for us, specifically because we can keep this team intact on all the the only expensive players are the ones we're getting rid of, right? Like there's gonna be some dead cap with Jimmy G, there's gonna be some dead cap with Chandler, but the one expensive is like on the block or a mistake or whatever, right? All our best players other than Maxx and Davante are pretty cheap. Who knows what's gonna happen with Josh Jacobs? But I think the biggest thing is Mark Davis saw the mistake he made with Bisaccia. He's like, look, we got a recipe here. Guys love him. Defense is the turn. I just can't, like, I'm so happy and blown away, but I can't fathom how this defense did such a 180. 20 years of ineptitude. 20 years of trash. And now we're getting back-to-back games with 14 defensive points, holding Patrick Mahomes to 2 touchdown drives. Oh, and 3 and outs on his first 2 games for the first time ever in a home game for Patrick Mahomes, ever. In like 57 games. He'd never started a game with back-to-back 3 and outs. And he did. Like this is something special, bro. Like this is something that is.
This is a championship defense. The way they're playing. This is we put a quarterback with this team is going to be really, really good. A positive that we're looking into now is there's no ego in this coaching staff. There's no underlying like circumstance, or there's nothing that is like there's no politics being played. The best players are out there, right? Jacorian Bennett only playing really more snaps than he should have because he was, a 4th round pick. And I want to let everyone know that my picks are going to play and they're good. Throwing Tyree out there on the outside when we still had Kuntz. Like Kuntz was a better player. You throw your first, your rookie out there. We talked about it before early in the season. Get him some more snaps inside. We talked about it before the season even started. When we talked about at least I talked about having that the NASCAR line from what the Giants did. They put some of the defensive ends on the inside. We're moving players around. We're activating players from the practice squad and putting them in the team. For DJ Turner, again, from the practice squad, has a huge tackle on punt returns, actually, too. We're playing a lot of players right now that weren't playing in the beginning of the year, especially defensively. And, it's showing a lot of dividend in the postseason. Sorry, in the secondary. Also, like Jack Jones getting picked up by Champ, and this defense is not the same defense, even personnel wise, than it was in the beginning of the year.
How about Boogie with the take of the year? Only good thing McDaniels did was bring Patrick Graham to the Raiders. It's almost worth wasting a season and a half of ineptitude from Josh McDaniels if it meant we got to keep Patrick Graham for a while. I don't think you guys really understand how insane it is that this defense is playing the way it is. 20 years of awful. What have we always said? Like, well, Paul Gunther sucked, but it's not just him because they sucked before. Gus Bradley didn't work out. It's not just him because it sucked before. All these guys, it's like, well, steamliners can't turn on a dime, right? Turning around decades of terrible defensive ineptitude doesn't happen overnight. Like, it takes a couple seasons. Patrick Graham did it in half a season. Like, it took a season and a half to get there, but the results happened like that. So sweet.
The thing is when you give something to a player, because look, players, you have to have an ego, right, to be a professional athlete. But okay, when a player is better than you. And when you're playing better than them and you get challenged, you're going to have some doubt. There's going to be some doubt in your mind. I don't care who you are. You go out there, and I know you're going to love this because you're wearing a freaking UCLA hat. I don't know why you're wearing Chargers colors anyway. But we go out there.
Christmas present.
And the famous Pete Carroll line, first day of spring, there's no depth chart. Everyone has to earn their spot every single week. You go out there and you earn it. And that's part of that is being able to be coached, being able to develop, being able to get better, being able to not make mistakes, being able to study and know what you have to do, because you have to earn your spot every single week. And with that, you're able to be challenged, you're able to be pushed, you're able to have adversity at your feet and still perform, because you know that you're the best person for that job.
This is so sad to see. You really hate to see this. This is such a shame.
Man, screw those
Oh,
hoes,
that's so
man.
sad. Oh no. Oh, come on, RJ. Why are you doing that?
Not
No.
not an ass cheek in sight.
Oh,
2 chicks,
so
no butt
sad.
cheeks. 2 chicks, 0 butt cheeks. Both of them got long back syndrome. The small of their back goes right into their hamstrings.
Travis Kelce's main piece, Patrick Mahomes' main piece, just distraught. Their little numbers on their
chicks,
hats,
bro. F those chicks.
So
F
sad.
the Chiefs as an
Why?
organization, as a team, as a fan base.
Why bring the wives and girlfriends?
F Mahomes and his freaking slutty ass wife. F Kelce. F his corny ass brother. F his freaking flat ass side chick. F them all, dude.
I think if you put those two together, they still wouldn't know what to do with the dick. They just look like they're terrible.
Dude, those 4 ass cheeks still do not equal one of my chicks' ass cheeks.
They look like they just lay there.
You know what those are called? Those are called pillow princesses.
Just little plastic fuck dolls. But not even like dolls, because not even all that special. Just unimpressive.
I love that right there, that visual. That is all I needed for Christmas. That's it.
It gets me hard, but not sexually. You know what I mean? Like normally those two make me flaccid.
It gives me a hate boner.
The blood's flowing. Philo Barble 3000. Thank you, buddy. Super chat.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Can we take a second to give AP props when early in after Jack Jones pick 6, JJ was getting feisty, and AP being the solid head coach he is, was able to rein him in before have gotten out of control.
No, definitely. And that's what I'm talking about. Sure. He is the best coach for this team, with the players for this team. And that's when you have a relationship, when you can see eye to eye to a lot of these players because they know you've been there and they know you've done it, you can challenge them like that. And you can bring them up. You can also bring them back down to earth too. And it's super, it's not something that you can quantify. Like this coach has this many wins and this coach has this record and this. No, it's about the players that are on this team. What's the best coach for this team right now?
Well, when the thing is, Antonio Pierce can beat up probably 72% of the roster. You know what I mean? When you've got that going for you, how many, and again, he's 45. So, Spillane, Maxx, the prime, linebackers, linemen, but he would squash Jack Jones.
Bro.
He would choke slam Jack Jones, take his lunch money and make him cry. When you're able, so it's everything you said. He's done it before. He's got the Super Bowl ring, right? He can do the whole click, 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 right? Got the Super Bowl ring. And he's bigger than you. And he's a linebacker. And the personality he has, it's just but he's still your bro. You know what I mean? He's the cool uncle. He's the older brother that's done it. It's like he helped you get laid for the first time.
You're on that level, man. You're on that level with them where they can relate to you, but you still respect them. It's like shout out to my boy Joe Schilling. His saying is you can't stop crazy. Mm-hmm. And there's a little bit of crazy in AP, and he's going to give a little bit of that crazy to this team too.
Giant props to Zamir White, game of his career. 22 carries, 145 yards, 6.6 yards per carry. And he had the 43-yarder, but even if you take away that 43-yarder,
really good.
It was still roughly, almost 5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Fantastic showing by him.
This is why you run the ball for the first 3 quarters consistently, because in the fourth quarter, when you need it, the defense is a little bit run down. They're a little bit beat up, and you can lean on them, and you get those pops. You get those big runs. It happened with Jacobs in the Jets game when we kept running the ball, even though that we weren't getting, it wasn't too great of a running game until that long run. And the same thing here is you got to keep, dude, as big and as powerful as Jacobs is as a running back, Zamir White's bigger. Mm-hmm. He's a bigger back. He's 230 pounds. He's big for a running back.
He's gotten bigger this season. I remember he was skinnier last season.
He's
on that NFL weight training regiment.
Who was that guy? Who was that baseball player in the 90s? Ruben Sierra. He came back on an unsupervised weightlifting program. The dude was like, couldn't even swing the bat. He was just all arms and shoulders. Just huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, you know what? Valerie Lynn, let's hit up because we don't get a lot of women that I don't know why. We're two handsome gentlemen. But Valerie Lynn made a good point. I really hate to say it, but Josh Jacobs could leave, and I don't think it would really hurt us. They would trim the cap, but we definitely got to let Jimmy G and Brian Hoyer go.
Well, Jimmy G's gone. It's just a matter of how we're going to handle his cap hit, right? That's all it is.
Let's just spread it out, man.
No one's gonna
down the road.
No one's gonna trade down the road. No one's trading for him. So we're just, again, him and Chandler Jones, we're eating it. We're just gonna have to eat it. Rusty Nail, bus switch. I'm terrible at emojis.
No, like let's circle the stadium.
Oh,
Rusty Nail, I see what you're doing there.
Come on, dude.
Hey, what would have been?
Emoji.
Okay, I was holding my nuts because I just wanted to make sure that we did. If we did, I would have exploded. If on the last kneel down, we did a little ring around the rosy thing, and then went to the line and did it, that would have been so sweet.
That's so not Antonio Pierce, though. Something kind of like corny and, you know what I mean? Like, he's too gangster to do something corny. Anthony Smith, UFC light heavyweight, fought John Jones for the title. I'm the stage manager when he works the desk. And there was a Valentina Shevchenko had a fight. So to end the show, let's see you guys do your Valentina Shevchenko dance. He's like, gangsters don't dance. It's like, okay. Yeah. AP doesn't ring around the rosy. He'll make fun of you. Like, he'll run the score up. He'll talk trash. Like, he'll do, he'll rub it in. But gangsters don't dance. AP ain't gonna ring around the rosy. Not a chance.
It was tough. It was a tough game today. I don't want to put all of the future development or the promise on of AOC on just this game alone. Mm-hmm. It was tough for Mahomes to throw the ball too. It was windy and it was cold and wet. So it was tough to throw the ball today. But there were, regardless of that, if you're going to be a guy, you have to make some of those plays. And he just really wasn't making any of them, especially in the second half. It was rough, man.
He wasn't getting a lot of help from his receivers either.
Let's see.
Devante dropped a handful. Jacoby dropped a handful. He didn't have Mayer.
Cooper dropped the ball. So look, it was
a bad game by our receiving core.
Sure. I'm not going to condemn the quarterback or the offensive coordinator on this one game alone, but we got to see something that's not against a team that's given up. Okay, well, they scored 7 touchdowns against a team that just didn't want to play.
With 5 turnovers.
Yeah, with 5 turnovers, 5 short fields. Like,
here's a W.
Defense basically gave you that. Let's see if when you have to do it, when it's a dogfight, when you're playing a really good team that's good offensively, let's see the offense come through. And I don't know that we've really seen that. People go, "Whoa, what are you talking about? They scored 63 points." Yeah, well, 2 of them were defensive scores, and 3 of those touchdowns that we scored were like within the 30-yard line. We got the ball. So let's just make sure that we understand what's actually happening in the game.
And Favre played well, and he did play well.
He played well. Targets, and there's some questionable opposition. Let's just put it that way. Okay, I think after the first turnover touchdown, I think the Chargers quit after that. They're like, okay, well, we're done. Let's see this going forward. Let's see this when we go into the Colts, who have been playing well. We lost last week. Let's go into the Colts and let's see what we can do over there against a team that has some players, right? They have some players, and they're in the playoff hunt as well. Let's go in there and do that. Let's go in there and even though I don't know how the heck the Broncos lost to the Patriots. I have no clue how they lost to the Patriots. But let's see. Let's end the season strong against the Broncos, and let's see what's going on with the offensive execution here.
What else? I mean, again, let's focus a little bit. We talked earlier this week again on the show. Someone in our on the What Up Windbags on the main podcast this week asked, like, should we force the ball to Davante Adams? And the answer is we already are. He's top 5 most targeted targets in all of football. And he's like 1 or 2 targets away from number 2. And that was before this game, so I'm not sure what the numbers are now. But he was targeted 6 times today. 1 catch, 4 yards. Had 1 or 2 I would call drops. Had a couple other like very contested catches. They were well defended. But when you're Davante Adams, you need to make those catches. Like you're paid to beat the defender in those situations. Not a great game by Davante Adams. And I think it's one of those games where when you're figuring out what to do with them next season and the Jets potentially with Aaron Rodgers saying, we'll give you a king's ransom to get Davante Adams, you might start to think to yourself, like, all right. At the beginning of the season, we'd say no way because the cap hit's going to be so brutal. But you give us something nice, you're going to give us a lot. He's just not really jiving this, his offense, hasn't been. He'll probably still get 1,000 yards this season, but after today, it's real bad today.
There's a lot of interesting decisions to be made roster wise after the season. Because we're playing a lot of players, or we're not playing a lot of players that are looking to make a lot of money next year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see
like who could come to the table and demand a huge pay raise.
Kuntz probably.
Kuntz, but it's only been 4 or 5 games.
Bro, this is the kind of guy. This is like the Waller deal, right? When they show you a little something towards the end of the season and you just give him a fat deal. This is what you do with Kuntz because he's been doing it.
Not a fat deal. I keep you happy right this second deal.
Yeah,
so you don't have to pay him fat later. Of all the, and rightfully so.
A fat deal, I mean like a big deal for him, not like for the league, right?
Of all the crap we've given Mayock and Gruden, and rightfully so, for how they handled the roster, we have to give props with how they handled Waller. Like it was, you could not have done that better. Pick him off the practice squad for pennies, extend him for pennies before he gets really good. 17th highest paid tight end in football when he's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Beautiful. Like they didn't do a lot. They didn't do a lot of great things to the roster, but the way Mayock and Gruden handled Darren Waller was
shrewd. It was good.
It was masterful.
If I was champ, I would walk up to Kuntz like on Wednesday. So slide contract over. What do you think about that? And I would sign him like now. We need to sign. How do you feel
about a couple commas?
Yeah, he needs to get signed and he needs to get paid.
What's
because
his,
he's not this is his last season, I think, on his rookie deal. Is this fourth year or is this third year?
Hold, please.
Even so, I would extend him.
Third year.
He has one more. So I would extend him, but keep like we did with Colton Miller. We extended him, but we kept that last year of his rookie deal the same.
It's by definition an extension.
Yeah.
With the guaranteed money, so he's taking care of.
Yeah. Extend him, move forward. He is much better against the run. He sets the edge and he holds the edge. Great job by him against the run today. He forced a couple of runs inside, and he even forced a run inside and still made the tackle one time, which was pretty amazing. Speaking of that, how brutal was that hit on the Pacheco when his helmet fell off? This is what you like to see.
Look at that locker room, dude. They brought the Stogies out again. Crosby with the Stogies again?
Oh, yeah, I would burn so many holes in that carpet. I would just drop cherries on the carpet. Bang! Like this mother again.
Dude. Imagine being on that defense right now. Just like, how much are you feeling yourself? Like, hell yeah, dog.
You know what that should make you do?
Andy Reid on the road. This like ragtag group of like thrown together players, more or less.
Look, man, everyone was talking all kinds of mess. Oh, yeah, the defense was able to do it against 2 backup quarterbacks, against 2 third-string quarterbacks. Oh, okay. All right, we'll see. Oh, there were 2 at home. Yeah, of course, you have your home crowd and this and that. Okay, all right. Great conditions. Oh, okay. Give us the weather. Give us Mahomes. Give us all his weapons. Okay.
Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes is still like, look, we talked about, again, I keep referencing your last show. Patrick Mahomes is having a very off year by his standards. His numbers are still good. Really, really, really good. He's still a really, really good quarterback, even when he's like the worst version of himself. And we slapped our dicks on his forehead.
Whoa, damn. Is that a word?
All right, I'll take it.
Swear jar.
I'll take so many swear jars. Fuck it.
Swear
Boom.
jar.
A day like this, fuck it.
Oh,
Swear jar.
it's
See if I care. What are we on? 27? I think I'm on 27 now.
we have a legitimate opportunity to win out the rest of the season. Now, all we can do is focus on what we have to do, which is win out. We can't be scoreboard watching and all that stuff. It's fun and everything, and like
that's what you and I do.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
what right. That's what we can do. That they're the team. AP is going to keep them focused for sure.
What about when you're successful, it's a lot easier to wake up early in the morning.
Mhm.
It's a lot easier to stay another half hour and watch more film. It's a lot easier to bounce ideas off each other as far as defensively. It's a lot easier to pay attention and stay awake during team meetings, during breakout sessions, right? It's a lot easier to do all that stuff.
So this
Whose
dog
dog is that?
took a dump. He took a dump on Chiefs field. Pregame.
That's a Raider dog right there.
This is my representation of Patrick Mahomes' game, and just took a dump right on the field. What a great sign.
That's amazing.
10.5 point dogs, Soto. 10.5 point dogs. 2 defensive touchdowns.
I don't have much to say, man. I don't have much to say right now. It's
a miracle.
It's a tough thing to explain because
with the Chiefs holding every single freaking play. Maxx Crosby triple teamed and held. So we only had 2 tackles every play. No penalties. It's such a joy watching the national media start to finally learn what we've known this entire time, what the AFC West has known about them the entire time. The Chiefs superstars are the biggest whiny pussy crybabies in the world.
I'll give you that one.
They're huge, whiny, crying. Travis Kelce throwing his helmet. Patrick Mahomes, every time someone put farted next to him, looking for a flag, crying and whining, yelling at his team. They are whiny crybabies. And it's nice to watch the national media finally come to grips and see it in real time. Because we've known it, right? Everyone in the AFC West has known it. They've been that way forever. But it's nice when the national media is finally like, oh yeah, wow, this Patrick Mahomes guy, he bitches and moans a lot. Travis Kelce's throwing his helmet, throwing a temper tantrum like a 4-year-old. Like, yeah, dog. So they've always been. Welcome to the party, pal.
So
great Christmas movie.
It's very difficult to keep your composure when the opponent is constantly beating you up. Yeah. Even if you can make plays, if you're still getting beat up, it's almost impossible to keep your composure, especially when you're not making plays, especially when you're not moving the ball, especially when you've made mistakes offensively. Mm. And that's the culture of a Raiders defense. Is we're going to go out there and we're just going to out physical you. We're going to go out there and we can be more physical to you. Are we going to throw the ball deep? Sure we are. We want to. But first, we want to manhandle you. We want to show you who's boss. And then we give you what we allow you to have. And we take what we want.
Yeah, it's a puncher. It's a punch him in the nose style of team, right? Defense is playing that way, right? What did
it's
AP
always been
say?
that way though, man. This is when AP's come along.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how do you beat all these trick plays? It's like, well, you just get in the backfield and hurt them. And that's what's been kind of what our offense has been forced to be, right? Because the offense has been playing well. We don't want to throw the ball 40 times a game. Rush game, it was 32nd out of 32 teams coming in. It might not be that at this point, but the run game isn't good. But if you just keep beating him into submission, you can start breaking some off in the 4th round. You can have Zeus get 140 yards because you just kind of beat him into submission. You're not good at it, but you're just going to do it so many times where they're going to break. And when you got a defense like this, you can get away with it. When you got a defense like this, there's basically no offensive scheme that's going to fall apart, right? It's like, oh, you're the worst run game in football? We're going to keep running the football because we're not going to turn the ball over. We're not going to get penalties. We're going to let our defense carry this team, and we're eventually going to break you. And when you've got this defense, when you score twice on defense, every offensive coordinator looks brilliant, and everyone's happy.
Ooh, another female. UCLA had. I think that's you. Are we getting Caleb Williams?
Yeah, you think? No. We're not trading up to number 1. No way.
Yeah, that's too much.
No way.
Slow down.
Slow down. I don't think Caleb is light years better than May or some of the other guys. I think he's better, right? I think it's kind of unanimously decided. But is he like 2 first-round picks better? I won't go that far. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Stud, man. He's a stud, though.
He's a stud, but so's May.
All the not playmaking that Farva can't do. I was like, Caleb's just like, I dare you to get me out of the pocket. Please.
Jaden Williams can do that.
Yeah.
Jaden Williams can do all that. Bo Nix is like a more mobile Farva.
Bo Nix is like a more disciplined Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Rocket of an arm.
I don't know if he's that as big as Josh Allen.
Not as big, but he can move.
He can move and
got the same rocket, but not going to give you the picks. Or shouldn't.
I'm not so much concerned about the picks when you score that many touchdowns. That's just part of the game. When you're pushing the ball and putting the ball in danger that much to get all those touchdowns, you're bound to turn the ball over every now and
then. Yeah, man. A lot to be happy for. Jack, dude, like what a great Christmas. I mean, morning started great. Woke up this morning, got a little Christmas blowjob to start the day. Not from Soto, got it from the wife. Got to watch the daughter.
What's his name?
I watched the daughter open the presents. Went to my dad's house. Watched the game with the family. I thought I was gonna go straight to the in-laws, but after this game, like, no, babe. Sorry, we're going home. I'm gonna go there for an hour and a half. I'm talking to Soto. I'm talking to my Windbags. I'm talking to Raider Nation.
We got a dip.
Then we can go to the in-laws after that. Nice little buzz. I got a sweet. You get any cool Raider stuff?
I didn't get any Raider stuff, man. I got some sweet, like a pack of socks, but like cool little like, what is that? Oh, for when are you a Rough Rider now or what?
You like that?
You look better.
Thing. I look like a Mongolian ninja. Like it's freezing outside, but you don't know who I am.
Well, you're obviously not an Asian ninja.
Sweet, right?
You're one of those American ninjas, American Ninja Warrior. No, I didn't get any Raider gear this year. That's weird. Normally, that's all I get. I got a lot of wine. I'll tell you that. I got a bunch of wine. I got a bunch of good wine.
I'm going to your house after the game then.
Jeez, I got a bunch of good wine.
Good deal.
A lot of gift cards.
Oh my God, gift cards?
Yeah.
Worst gift on planet Earth.
And even worse than that is someone that asked me for a gift card. I'm like, you know what? I'm old school about it, man. If you don't like it, just return it. I'm not going to give you a gift card.
Dude, just cash. Has anyone ever been given cash in the history of the human race and been upset? It's like, I got to take this thing off. Gift cards, they're my pet peeve, dude. Gift cards are so fucking stupid. So it's like you go, hey, here's $100 to Barnes & Noble. It's like, all right, well, I'd rather just have cash because I could spend that at Barnes & Noble. And now I have about $87 worth of stuff at Barnes & Noble. So now I have to go buy $13 more worth of something, or I have to buy $30 more of something. Like gift cards are so stupid. It's like, oh my God, hey, I want to get you a great bottle of vodka. So here's 500 rubles so you can go buy some vodka. No, just give me cash. Just give me cash. Please, all you Windbags out there, never give anyone a gift card. Buy him a present or give him cash. Nobody wants a gift card.
McBud, the man, first subscriber, he said, hey, Belushi, which is me, what about the Long Beach Raiders hat? There was a freaking Long Beach hat, but the O in Long Beach is a Raiders signal, an insignia. I'm getting that. I'm getting that for show.
Nice. I'm moving out of Long Beach. Did I tell you?
You did.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a Huntington Beach Raider fan. Plenty of OC Raider fans out there. You're gonna have to hold down Long Beach on your own.
All dude, all day, all day.
All right. Well, I don't want to do it again. I mean, it hurts to do it. Like it's it's so sad watching these poor innocent women. They're victims, if anything. It's not their fault they fell in love with queefs. They were just forced to. They just very sadly fell in love with the wrong people. They got involved in the wrong crowd, Soto.
This
You know what I mean?
this little video clip, it reminds me of underseasoned food for some reason.
Go on.
It's just there. It's
Because it gives you diarrhea?
It's just underseasoned food. It just reminds me of underdressed salad. Just bland. There's something so bland there.
Just
Everything
a
is
pack
so
full of
bland.
raisins?
Oh, look! I have my man's number on my Santa hat. Look at me, I'm cute. The hell out of here! And they're consoling each other like, "Oh my god, I'm so sad." They get paid the same. They get paid the same money, sweetheart. You don't have to worry. You're riding on. I mean, not freaking Taylor Swift, but this other freaking broad. You're gonna be okay.
Swift and Mahomes looks like they look like they only want you to have sex with them when you just like poke your dick out of your boxers in the dark. They look like that's what they want.
You got to pull a spoon and slip with those girls. You got to do kind of okey doke them into it.
Yeah. Raiders waddled on in to Arrowhead Stadium, punched the Chiefs in the taint.
Uppercut.
120-14. What a beautiful Christmas. When the schedule came out this last offseason, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be miserable on Christmas because we never win at Arrowhead. Oh ye of little faith, RJ Clifford. Oh ye of little faith.
I think Travis is such a little baby. I think he's such a little freaking queef, right? Mm-hmm. Such a little freaking pussy fart. He's just gonna be like, and he's gonna piss Taylor off. It's like, dude, listen, I'm Taylor Swift. Like, yeah, you still have to treat me good, even if you lost. Like, I'm gonna be understanding to a point, but like, come on, I'm still Taylor Swift, and he's gonna be like, I don't care. I can do whatever I want. My mom still loves me. Like, you know what, bro? Out.
I got Campbell's soup commercials and a podcast.
I have a COVID-19 vaccination commercial.
Raiders beat the Chiefs 20-14, upping their playoff chances to 6%. This eliminated the Chiefs from mathematically eliminated them from potentially being the number 1 seed in the AFC, which feels so good. Now we're in a position where, hey, we'll look ahead a little bit. We beat the Colts next week. We got the Broncos to end the season. That might be for a playoff spot. If everything goes our way, this defense keeps playing the way that it does, who knows? Who knows? We did it without Josh Jacobs. We did it without Colton Miller. We did it with a rookie 4th-round quarterback. Who knows? Who knows? I hope y'all have.
Man, I'm super pumped. I just it's almost one of those things where it's like, yeah, you're running an obstacle course and like you clear the hardest obstacle in the beginning, and you're like, yes. And even though the other obstacles aren't as hard, they still suck. So it's like, cool, I passed that, but they're still gonna suck. It's not gonna suck as bad as that, but it's still gonna suck.
The effort is the same regardless. We're either building for next season, keep momentum, have everyone keep finding their roles and playing great football, or they keep doing that way and turns into a playoff berth. When you get to once you get to the playoff, anything can happen, right?
If we keep playing like this, if we're playing this well going into the playoffs, we're going to be a problem. No one's going to want to play us.
Are we going to Vegas for Broncos game? Soto box. Soto's got primo box.
I do. I mean, if someone wants to give me a box, yeah, I'll go.
Are there boxes for sale in Las Vegas?
I don't know. I think they've all been scooped up.
Can you buy a primo box?
I
Space Beast, keep Soto up to date. Let me take you up on that. Raiders 20, Chiefs 14.
So good.
at Arrowhead. Raiders now 7-8. That was only their second away win this season, by the way. Boy, do we do it well. We will do our show. It'll release on Thursday like normal. There's a lot of other really interesting storylines that we're going to do some videos on this week that I want to keep you guys
A lot of stuff going on right now.
A lot of stuff going on that we're going to keep you guys up to date on. And we will. But until then, knock on fucking wood if you're with me. Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.